So now Talisha's going to touch on an issue that we've observed in the industry.
Many shipbuilders hide behind what I call throwaway brokers, where the issues or liability build up too much, they can just close the brokerage. And this allows the boat builder to keep manufacturing substandard junk without incurring too much loss or being bogged down in litigation. Personally, I categorically would never buy a new boat from one of these smaller brokerages who possibly have warranty repairs built into the broker's profit margin, and people actually expect some kind of useful international warranty. It's something very serious to consider if you are a new yacht buyer, and if this is the case where you need to use one of these possible throwaway brokers, you're better off buying second hand, in my opinion, and just stripping out the old components and replacing them.
Yeah.
People have contacted us saying that they have been threatened legally as a scare tactic by some of the smaller brokers, irrespective of the legitimacy of their claims, for posting negative yacht reviews after having a bad experience. Leopard Catamaran so far has not done that. Robertson and Kane haven't either. They have tried a few silly tactics, which at the time were more amusing than harmful. And their CEO actually went as far to say to us that no matter what we do, they would never be the first to litigate against a customer.
Yeah. People need to understand that. That's not just Talisha saying this.
Yeah.
We've been in contact with different people, like I'm in a few different groups. Something people need to really think about. So some of these smaller brokerages for bigger manufacturers, these brokerages have legally threatened people who have posted about their negative experience with buying one of these respective new yachts. Well, catamaran and a trimaran in these two examples off the top of my head. Now, that's just bullshit behavior. Like, that's no other way to put it. It's just outrageous, especially because I know some of the details. And what's going on here is you've got the shipbuilder sitting back with a meat shield that can easily close their doors and just file for bankruptcy, basically being used as an attack dog to suppress people who have had a poor quality boat build. Now, I would never ever ever buy a yacht from one of these brokerages that are smaller, that aren't well established and aren't likely to stand behind potential serious warranty issues that you could have with a new boat. It's like boat insurance. You don't buy boat insurance because someone might bump you or do 5 grand's worth of damage, or even 10 grand's worth of damage, or 15 grand's worth of damage. That's not why we have comprehensive boat insurance. You have comprehensive boat insurance on a yacht this size in case the yacht's completely written off or hit by lightning. And those two events will cost you probably over $100,000 to rectify. That's why you have yacht insurance. Now, a similar line of thought is why you buy a new yacht from someone that's selling it, is that you have a warranty. So if they mess up the gel coat mix, they mess up the layup, they mess something up that's critically important that will cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. Yes, I am aware of costs. Hundreds of thousands of dollars to rectify these issues. Some of them. Like, you need to understand that you do not want to be dealing with someone who the warranty payout or the warranty rectification money is going to come out of the broker's profit margin. So like, some of these brokers buy the yacht from the builder at an agreed price in a contract between the broker and the builder. They buy the yacht at a set price and then they sell it at a price above that, and that profit margin that they sell it for, the broker, that is where the money for certain warranty rectification can come out of. Sometimes it can be agreed that it comes out of the shipbuilder. It's all private contracts. Now, at the end of the day, if you want to go shopping for a yacht and having to not just shop for the yacht but shop for private contracts, you need to keep that in mind. People make the assumption, and we've met them here, we've literally met people with new, like there was a new FP down there, and people are like, they've got this idea that it's like buying a laptop from wherever, Walmart. Like they buy a laptop, and if the laptop doesn't work, you go, no, give me another laptop, and they give you another laptop, or it's repaired within a week or 2 weeks or something, like a reasonable amount of time. People don't understand, if you buy from a small throwaway brokerage or a small throwaway broker or a single individual that's got an agreement with the shipbuilder to sell this product, you don't have a fucking warranty. You need to let that sink in. People don't get it. And at the point where you don't have a warranty because the warranty is such an insignificant amount that they're prepared to allocate to it, you may as well buy a better quality second-hand boat. People are going to be critical at Leopard and Robertson and Kane here, but there's no way on earth. So I went around the Annapolis Boat Show with Talisha, and I was asking them, who's selling me this boat that you're advertising? Like you go to the FP stand, and there's a lady there, and she's telling me about the boat. And she's like, oh, this boat has hybrid engines. And I'm like, yeah, cool. And I went down and it was just a diesel engine, not a hybrid engine. And I'm like, do you even, like, they don't even know what they're selling, some of these people. And these brokers, are you going to sit there and you're going to buy this boat off a broker with some convoluted legal agreement, and then you're going to try and get warranty if they terminally screw the boat up in some way, which is like your insurance for something that's never been across an ocean before. So you're the first person rolling the dice on that brand's reputation. You are. So where people go, oh, they read the comments and I read the comments from their YouTube, and people are like, oh, I'm gonna go buy an FP then. Oh, I'm gonna go look at Lagoon then. It's like, that is not gonna resolve your problem. Like, you need to understand, some of these brokers are worse if it goes really far south than this. I mean, if I was buying a new boat again, and I was just addressing the issue of new boats around this topic, I would buy a new boat that would be delivered in a country that has consumer law protection, and I would have all the warranty and everything resolved under the consumer law. So like Robertson and Kane in South Africa, if you were to buy a Robertson and Kane boat in, I don't know, some country that doesn't give a shit about consumers, Venezuela, if you were to buy a Leopard Catamaran in Venezuela, you're going to litigate in Venezuela or South Africa. You may as well go headbutt a wall. It's a serious consideration. And people are sitting there saying, oh, I'm going to go get a Lagoon now. I'm going to go look at an FP now. It's like, that's not the message. It's not the message to go get a Seawind who moved the factory to Vietnam. It's not the message to go get a, like, I don't know, whatever.
That's the thing, there's two issues here. There's build quality, which obviously our build quality was not great, but then there's warranty support when the boat builder will not help you. And that's where you need your broker.
It's a multifaceted issue.
Yeah.
And I get it. 10 times a week. Well, what would you buy? What would you buy then? I'd buy a second-hand boat that was over a year old, but under 3 years old. Over a year, because I've noticed that people can kick problems along for a year and not really pay attention to them, like the Lagoon we talked about earlier, and handball the problems to somebody else within about a year. But if they've stuck with it for 2 years, they've generally tried to fix a lot of them, psychologically. So, I'd be looking at a boat, personally, I'd be looking at a boat, and this was actually stands true to what I wanted before I bought this Leopard, but I was forced to buy a new boat. So if I was buying a boat, to answer this question once and for all, I would buy a boat I'd buy a boat second-hand, ideally between 1 and 3 years old, but to get a higher quality boat, I'd go a bit older, maybe mid, like 2010-ish or newer, I buy an aluminium hull catamaran with glass windows, and I would not buy a fiberglass boat again. I didn't want to buy one to begin with. I don't like it. I know there's pros and cons. I don't care. I'd rather an aluminium hull. I always wanted. I understand the medium, and I'd accept the fact that I was going to tear all the electrical out and all the plumbing out and redo it all, and it's not a big deal. It's more of a mental hurdle than actually doing it. They don't design this stuff these days to be difficult, or nobody could install it. Let's put it that way. What's more difficult is a situation like I'm in now, where things in the backbone of the electrical have been installed incorrectly, and then you're left with a problem of having to find where it's wrong or damaged. Is far worse than just doing it right to begin with.
Travelopia Leopard and Robertson & Kane employees have ultimately decided to visit and repair their product in a public space while allowing filming, which is a credit to them. Nobody competent in a healthy workplace should have an issue with being filmed on the job. Additionally, they have repaired and are in the process of repairing 2 other Leopard catamarans here that were also under warranty. They even offered to repair a 4th, but in Trent's opinion, given the limits of the infrastructure here, he declined this offer to get a 4th yacht involved, as ours was still in pieces. It turned out that despite the age of the yacht and it being within the first owner's warranty, it had already passed on to a second owner, so the Robertson & Kane warranty was no longer applicable.
We've had two other Leopard owners contact us about coming here to get warranty work done. Both of them I've said no, we don't want to be here that much longer. The people that are working here aren't going to be here that much longer. They hope. I've said this so many times now that I actually don't even believe my own words, but we shouldn't be here with all reasonable consideration that much longer. These owners are contacting us with warranty issues. I've directed them to follow the procedure they should be following. If Robertson & Kane doesn't want to rectify the root cause of issues and fix their boats properly, then we may have an interest in talking to you. Until then, I am not your first point of contact for people that are trying to get hold of me. It's not my problem to champion every single person. That said, I won't tolerate bullshit that I see in front of me. The world would be a better place if everyone had that attitude. And I don't think this is the best place to get a Leopard repaired for those issues that were listed that those people have. I believe there are more suitable, nicer places to get repaired for smaller issues. In my opinion, I don't know what your contract is, but you need to have an independent assessment done of the warranty issue. Like if it's this window peeling off, if water comes in the window, it's a warranty issue. It's a boat. So then you got to go get a quote to have it fixed. It's probably quicker to have it fixed than just pay the quote. And then you submit the quote to Robertson & Kane, and then they should pay it. And that's just the process when you buy a new boat off a big company. Now, if you go 6 months to a year down the line and you've not been paid, and you've got multiple issues, then that's a different conversation that needs to happen. And even longer than a year. In our case, some issues have gone unresolved. That's a different conversation, and that's where people need to pull their finger out and step up and take responsibility for what they put together or damaged during construction. Different story. Nobody in anywhere near or close to that scenario has contacted me. Every single person just wants their problem solved pronto without going through the process. So, I just felt like saying in this video, before anyone else contacts me, and I have to have a long conversation with them, I'm happy to help people, but you need to help yourself first. I was directed by Leopard that there's a link on their website to lodge your warranty claims. I'd retain proof of the claims you've lodged through this link. I encourage you to use it. We're going to link it to this video. I encourage you to keep reference or screenshots of what you have submitted. I encourage you to put your broker's details in there. And if your broker says there's no need to use this system, just email me. Use the system anyway, because then it holds the broker accountable for whatever they are or they aren't doing. I've heard personally from people, their brokers say it's not necessary to use this system. I'd question why their broker's saying this, why I'm being told from higher up in the Travelopia hierarchy that this is the system that's supposed to be used, and I would definitely use it if I were you. My situation is far beyond and outside of the contract and the warranty agreement because of rectifying things more expediently, because there's more things to rectify than someone's got time to fill out paperwork for in a lifetime. And that is another thing that needs to be in the contract. If you screw up a certain amount of stuff that exceeds a certain amount of time in rectification, that a team is made up, a competent team, that goes and rectifies said issues expediently, and it will mop up cases like ours that are outside of what a normal person would consider reasonable. It's not hard to do. I've heard of other manufacturers and boat builders doing it unofficially, outside of contract, to maintain their reputation. Specifically, I've heard FP did it. I've heard In a Circumstance. I've heard X5 do it anyway. That's off the top of my head. There might be others, but it's a good thing if this happens.